But I knew the White Swan wouldn't be a problem. The real work will be your metamorphosis into her evil twin.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 horror movie remakes of classic fairy tales.
Oh yes, very bad. One day he'll meet the devil in the wood.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best horror films based on familiar fairy tales and fairy tale tropes. There will be spoilers, so be forewarned. Can you think of any other folky fairy tale horror flicks? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, A Tale of Two Sisters. The Korean folktale Janga Hongyong-jung, about two sisters and their abusive stepmother, has been adapted into various films over the years. A Tale of Two Sisters is one of the best known, thanks to a strong critical and commercial response upon its release in 2003. The film is a stylish and shocking ghost story with memorable performances from its cast. It was notably remade in Hollywood as The Uninvited in 2009, but make no mistake, the OG is the version that you should seek. Mental illness and family trauma are but two of the themes explored here, and the film definitely benefits from repeat viewings.
일에 대해서 좀 얘기해 줄 수 있을까? 그날 무슨 일이 일어났던 거지?
Number 9, November. Estonian mythology is a rich world of unique gods, heroes and monsters, with the latter taking centre stage in the fantasy horror movie November. Set in a village filled with supernatural beings, the film depicts a dark and dreamlike world where mythological figures are part of ordinary life. That includes krats, servants made from hay or household odds and ends and brought to life thanks to a pact with the devil. The film transports viewers to another world, thanks in no small part to the haunting and gorgeous black and white cinematography. Not a lot of people have heard of November, but it's an excellent art house horror choice that deserves every bit of the acclaim it received. Number 8, The Hallow. Speaking of European mythology, there's also a wealth of folklore in the heart of 2015's The Hallow.
He's trespassing.
It's his job, Mr. Donnelly.
It's dangerous for him. And the little one.
Corin Hardy's film follows a British conservationist and his wife and son, who move to a remote Irish village surrounded by a sinister forest.
I believe that the forest that you're trampling on belongs to the Hallow.
The Hallow.
The good people. Fairies, banshees, baby stealers.
The locals claim that fairy tale creatures live inside, and pretty soon it becomes clear that they're not just telling tall tales. It all adds up to a tense and scary horror film with special effects that are very well actualized. The Hallow knows exactly what it wants to do, and achieves its aims in an atmospheric and memorable way. Number 7, Dead Time Stories. There's been a lot of seriousness thus far on our list, but the world of fairy tale horror isn't always grim and dour.
Puss in Boots, Rumpelstiltskin,
Whatever.
Princess and the Pea, Ugly Duckling, Sleeping Beauty.
If you like.
Brian, what story?
Take 1986's Dead Time Stories, for instance. This cult anthology flick knows its audience, and does a great job at adapting classic, well-known stories into a horror framework.
You killed my sisters. I'm gonna make this very painful.
While the first story involves witches, the second and third tales are twisted adaptations of Little Red Riding Hood and Goldilocks.
Why don't we go for a walk until it cools?
Nah, screw it, let's go get a pizza.
Dead Time Stories only pulled in $2.7 million at the box office, but that isn't too shabby for such a small horror flick in '86. Meanwhile, its reputation today as a video rental favourite and cult film ensures that these dead time stories will be retold for years to come. Number 6. Snow White, A Tale of Terror. This gothic fantasy horror film was developed for Showtime, but is much more than your average made-for-TV movie.
You must save the baby. She is coming.
The adaptation of this Brothers Grimm fairy tale offers an original and bewitching take. Played by Sigourney Weaver, the evil stepmother doesn't start out with bad intentions.
They have always envied you. They? Your enemies.
Her eventual corruption is made all the more memorable thanks to some outstanding makeup work. Sam Neill, Monica Keena, and Gil Bellows also give their all to the roles, creating a unique and compelling spin on the story.
Well, don't just look at it, dearie. Eat it.
I'll share it with a friend.
With a friend?
Number 5. Valerie and Her Week of Wonders. We return to Eastern Europe for our next pick. Weaving in various fairy tale tropes, Czechoslovakian director Jaromír Jireš's surrealist film follows the titular heroine as she undergoes a sexual awakening in a dangerous world of monsters, religion, and magic. Based on a 1935 novel, it has elements of various fairy tales, such as Sleeping Beauty and The Little Red Riding Hood. Dreamlike and captivating, it's the sort of cult classic that gained an audience through midnight screenings, forum posts, and word of mouth. Valerie and Her Week of Wonders isn't for everyone, but it remains a challenging art house exercise that bears thought-provoking fruit with each viewing. Number 4. Tale of Tales. John C. Reilly may be a part of the ensemble cast for Tale of Tales, but make no mistake, this ain't no comedy.
Please, my love. Please, my dearest, do not be upset. It was a mistake.
Well, at least not in any traditional sense. Also starring Salma Hayek, Vincent Cassel, and Toby Jones, the film adapts sections of the 17th century fairy tale collection Pentamerone from Italian poet Giambattista Basile. The narrative focuses on women in different stages of life, with the overarching themes of desire and obsession.
At my age, a girl should already know what sort of gallantries men are capable of. She should be learning to distinguish whose heart is sincere and who instead tells lies.
They have clear contemporary echoes, such as the pursuit of physical perfection. Tale of Tales is shot and presented in a gorgeous, opulent fashion, a true labour of love that feels otherworldly from start to finish.
No, you don't have to worry about a thing. I'll take care of you. Anything you want. It'll be yours.
Number 3. The Company of Wolves. The lush cinematography and atmosphere of Neil Jordan's Interview with the Vampire adaptation can perhaps be traced back to his work on this earlier film. The Company of Wolves was directed by Jordan in 1984, but its execution feels timeless. This is due not only to the strong performances and gorgeous production design, but also the classic fairy tale themes. These connections between The Company of Wolves and Little Red Riding Hood are obvious from the start, but Jordan's film differentiates itself in a number of ways.
What have you done with my granddaughter?
Nothing she didn't want.
For starters, the frequent once upon a time cutaways allow for plenty of side characters to enter in and out. Additionally, the outrageous werewolf effects are something to behold, even by today's standards. Number 2. Black Swan. Director Darren Aronofsky's psychological horror film provides nail-biting tension from first frame to last.
Fine. Then it's garbage.
No, Mom, don't. I'm sorry.
Starring Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis as rival ballerinas, the movie is about a production of Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, at least on the surface. Aronofsky gives plenty of nods to the Russian and German folktales that lie at the heart of Swan Lake. But he also ensures that Black Swan is something unique. The relentless pursuit of perfection is showcased in all of its potential madness, with visceral shots that also evoke elements of body horror. Fear, paranoia, sickness, it's all here in Black Swan, and executed brilliantly. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. The Law. Part mermaid musical, part horror flick. Bluebeard. A mystery comedy about a literal lady killer based on a French folktale.
It makes you feel a bit dizzy, just a bit. But it makes you free to say anything that comes into your head.
Oh, that's never been my problem.
Little Otik, aka Greedy Guts. A Czech comedy horror gem. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Suspiria. Dario Argento's supernatural horror film is a masterful horror classic that everyone should watch at least once.
Io voglio sapere che cosa ti ha ridotto in questo stato. Me lo dirai con calma più tardi, d'accordo?
Co-written with Daria Nicolodi, Suspiria draws on common fairy tale tropes, such as witchcraft and, more specifically, elements of Snow White. In fact, the film's iconic visual palette was reportedly inspired by Walt Disney's version of that story.
Non dormire. Ti supplico. Non lasciarmi sola.
Due to its violence, 20th Century Fox actually released it in the United States through a shell company. There was a bold remake in 2018, but once again, the original is the superior version. The film isn't for the squeamish, but for those who can stomach the gore, it's a blood-curdling ride through the darker side of fairy tale magic. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.